What if the most powerful move was no move at all? No calls, no texts, no status updates, just you going silent. Not because you're weak, but because you're done explaining your worth to someone who couldn't see it. You're done performing for validation. You're done trying to prove that your heart was enough. This isn't about playing games. This is about pulling your power back. Completely. You gave her presence, attention, loyalty. She took it for granted. She got comfortable. Thought you'd always be there. But now, she gets the void. See, silence is misunderstood. Most think it means you're hurt, broken, trying to recover. Nope. Real silence, the stoic kind, is power. It's controlled, it's calculated, it's calm. When you stop talking, you stop feeding the drama. You stop giving her access to your energy. And suddenly she starts to wonder, did he stop caring? Is he really over it? Why isn't he chasing? That quiet makes her spiral, because women expect noise, arguments, begging, attempts to fix things. Silence flips the script. It makes her face herself. And what she finds? Guilt, doubt, regret. The version of you that chased her. He's gone, dead and buried. Now, you become the man who doesn't explain, doesn't chase, doesn't react. You become the mystery, the storm she can't predict. And while she scrolls your profile, looking for signs that you still care, you're busy grinding, evolving, lifting, building. You're making silence louder than any apology she never gave you. You're not trying to win her back. You're trying to win yourself back. So understand this. Your silence isn't emptiness. It's pressure. And over time, that pressure breaks people. Let it crush her. Let her guilt expand in that silence until it eats her alive. Not because you want her to suffer, but because you want peace. And sometimes, peace only comes when you stop speaking to those who don't listen. If you're done being the one who always breaks first, if you're ready to stand in silence and let her feel the weight, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My silence is louder than my pain. Number 1, the silence that screams. You want to know what destroys someone more than yelling, begging, or throwing out some emotional last words? Silence. Cold, consistent, calculated silence. It's not weakness. It's not passive. It's not avoidance. It's the sharpest blade in your arsenal, because when you go quiet, truly quiet, you don't just take away your words, you take away your presence, and that is what she feels the most. See, when a woman pulls away, she subconsciously expects one thing: attention. She expects you to fight for her, to blow up her phone, to post stories designed to get her to watch. She wants to feel wanted, especially after she hurt you. That feeds her ego. It reassures her that no matter what she does, you'll still be there. Still reaching, still desperate. But when you respond with nothing, that script flips. Now she's left wondering, why is he so quiet? Why isn't he texting? Why didn't he fight for me? She starts to spiral. She replays every moment, reanalyzes every word, and that silence, it eats away at her. Because silence doesn't give closure. It doesn't give ego a boost. It gives her doubt. You're not being passive. You're removing her oxygen. You're taking away the emotional fix she got from your attention. You're becoming a mystery again, and that mystery is magnetic. Silence makes her question, makes her chase the closure she thought she didn't need. It creates pressure. Pressure builds guilt, and guilt becomes regret. But let's be clear, you don't go silent to get her back. You go silent to get yourself back. You do it because speaking to someone who doesn't respect your value is beneath you. You don't lower yourself to explain to someone who didn't bother to understand you in the first place. Your silence is not absence, it's presence, upgraded. It's you showing her that her access to you was a privilege, and once taken away, it doesn't return easily. So let her sit in that silence. Let it echo. Let it remind her of everything she lost when she took your presence for granted. No more late-night texts, no more long explanations, no more emotional bailouts, just silence. And your silence screams everything she needs to hear. Number 2, stop replaying the past. The moment she walked out, a movie started playing in your head. Every memory, every smile, every lie disguised as love. And you've been stuck there, rewinding, analyzing, obsessing over what went wrong. But here's the truth. The past is a trap. And the more you replay it, the more power you give to someone who's no longer in the room. That's not healing. That's self-inflicted torture. Stoicism teaches one thing clearly. What's done is done. The only thing that matters is what you do now. You think if you find the missing piece, some reason, some clue, it'll give you peace. Nope, that's not how it works. You're not looking for closure. You're craving control over something that's already out of your hands. And every time you dig through the past, you're feeding the pain. You're anchoring yourself to someone who already let go. She's not thinking about that argument the way you are. She's not losing sleep over that moment. You are. Because you keep hitting play on a story that's already ended. Let me hit you with something brutal but necessary. Your heart doesn't need more memories. It needs movement. It needs discipline. You want to feel better? Stop asking why she changed and start asking why you stayed when she did. The real healing doesn't start when you get answers. It starts when you stop needing them. That's when you reclaim your mind. That's when you rise. You have to cut the emotional loop. And yeah, that's hard. But every time you refuse to replay that scene, you strengthen your grip on the present. You stop bleeding energy into something dead. The man who wins is the man who doesn't dwell. He accepts, he adapts, he builds. And every second you don't waste on the past, that's a brick in the foundation of the next version of you. The stronger version, the stoic version. So shut the movie off. Let the past rot. She's not in your future, and your future doesn't need to carry the weight of her ghost. Number 3, you are not her savior. Stop trying to fix her. Let that sink in. You are not her therapist, not her emotional rehab, not her second chance at stability. You were her man, and she let you go. But here you are, still fantasizing about saving her, still thinking, if I just show her I care enough, maybe she'll change. Nope. That fantasy is rooted in ego, not love, because deep down, it's not about her healing. It's about proving you were enough to heal her. And that's not strength, that's self-destruction. Understand this. Saving her is not your mission. Respecting yourself is. She made her choices. She showed you her patterns. She revealed her wounds. And instead of taking responsibility, she dumped them at your feet, and you carried them like they were yours. But you're not her solution. You're not her emotional crutch. And every time you try to rescue her, you drown a little more. You think love means sacrifice? That real men fix broken women? Nah. Real men fix themselves and stop trying to prove their worth through someone else's healing. You're not here to rescue anyone from their demons. That's not noble. That's codependency wearing armor. You need to let her face her own chaos, because if she can't carry it, it's not yours to lift. The Stoic path is built on control over the self, not control over someone else's suffering. And here's what's wild. When you stop trying to save her, you actually start saving yourself. Your time, your focus, your mental health. You stop investing in a black hole and start building a life that's whole without her. That's when the shift happens. That's when your energy becomes intimidating, not because you're cold, but because you finally got warm without her. So let her fix her own mess. You're not her father. You're not her fixer. You're done handing out lifelines to someone who cut your rope. Number 4, your value didn't die with her love. She stopped loving you. So what? That doesn't erase your value. That doesn't mean you're less of a man. But too many guys let a woman's rejection rewrite their self-worth. Like her opinion is the final verdict on who you are. Nah, her love was just one perspective. Not the truth, not the total picture, just her limited lens. And when she walked away, she didn't take your worth with her. She just exposed that you tied too much of it to her approval. Let's be clear. Your value existed before she showed up, and it still exists after she left. You don't lose your crown because someone stopped seeing it. You don't become worthless because she couldn't recognize your depth. That's not your burden. That's her blindness. Her inability to receive love without wrecking it isn't a reflection of your failure. It's a reflection of her chaos. But here's where it gets dangerous. When you start believing that her departure means you weren't enough, that mindset is poison. That's how you fall into self-doubt, desperation, begging. That's how you forget who you are. You need to snap out of that. She didn't define you. She revealed you, revealed where you had wounds, where you had holes in your foundation. And that's a gift if you're strong enough to face it. Because now you rebuild without illusions, without needing anyone's permission. Now you become the man who's solid, who doesn't rise or fall based on someone else's emotions. That's where true power comes from, when your value is internal, not negotiable, when it's rooted in purpose, not validation. You didn't lose her. She lost a man willing to give his all. That's not on you. That's her lesson to carry. Your lesson? To never let anyone, ever again, make you question your worth. You were never small. She just had a limited view. Number 5. Attraction through indifference. You want her to feel it, really feel it, then stop caring, fully, not pretending, not faking indifference just to get a reaction. I'm talking about real detachment, where you no longer orbit around her attention, her validation, her presence. That's the moment you become dangerous, because nothing pulls a person back harder than realizing they've lost their grip on someone they thought they could keep on standby. Most guys keep a thread open, one last message, one last watch on her story, a song posted, hoping she sees it. That's not detachment. That's desperation in disguise. Women can smell that from a mile away. Real attraction? It's born when she can't read you anymore, when she goes to check on you and there's nothing to check. No posts, no reactions, no breadcrumb trail, just silence, movement, focus. That's when it hits her. He's not waiting. You have to kill the need to be seen by her. Attraction through indifference means you don't care if she comes back. You don't care if she watches your stories or likes your posts. You don't post to get noticed. You post because you're living. You don't chase. You create gravity, and gravity pulls people in without effort. When you stop giving her energy, she starts to wonder where it went. That curiosity turns into tension. That tension, that's your leverage. And it only builds when you stay calm, distant, unbothered. But the second you fold, send a message, like a photo, check her story, that spell breaks. You just told her, I'm still here, I'm still waiting, and she'll relax because she still has access. You want power. Take that access away. Make her feel the closed door. No anger, no bitterness, just indifference. Indifference is not cold-heartedness, it's self-respect. It's you saying, I'm not here to entertain your absence. You walked away, remember? So now you feel what distance really means. Number 6. Emotional mastery is power. Every time you react, you hand over power. Every outburst, every rant, every emotional text you wish you could take back, it's a transfer from you to her. And the one who controls emotion in any dynamic controls the frame. That's why Stoicism isn't about being numb, it's about being unshakable, calm in the face of chaos, focused when everything tries to pull you off center. You want to make her regret losing you? Don't scream, don't plead, don't perform. Master your emotions and become untouchable. She expects emotion. She's counting on it. Because that's the pattern. Hurt a man, watch him fall apart. Watch him beg, spiral, post cryptic quotes and moody selfies. And when he does, she knows she still owns space in his mind. But when you don't give her that reaction, when your energy stays cool, consistent, silent, that's when the confusion starts. Why isn't he upset? Doesn't he care? Is he already over it? That emotional silence is loud, because she knows you cared. So why the control now? That's what rattles her. That's what shifts the power dynamic. But you don't fake this. You build it, brick by brick. You train your mind like your body. You catch the impulse before it becomes action. You don't vent online. You don't drunk text. You don't react to bait. You breathe, You reflect, and you move in silence. That's discipline, that's strength. Because in a world where everyone is reactive, the man who keeps his composure becomes rare, respected, desired. This is the part she didn't expect, that you'd rise instead of collapse, that you'd turn heartbreak into focus, that you'd use pain as fuel, not chains. And when you stop living on an emotional roller coaster, you start building from solid ground. You make better choices. You attract better people. You radiate control, and control is irresistible. Number 7, rebuild in the shadows. This is the part she won't see coming. Your silence turning into evolution. Not just disappearing, but disappearing into work, into focus, into the version of you she never imagined. While she's out there posting stories and trying to look unbothered, you're in the shadows, rebuilding, quietly, relentlessly, no announcements, no drama, no need to prove anything. You just vanish and rise. See, most men fall into the trap of showing their progress too early. They want her to see the gym selfies, the new clothes, the fake confidence. That's not power, that's performance. That's hoping she's watching. But when you don't care if she's watching, when you rebuild for you, not for her, not for revenge, that's when the transformation becomes real, deep, dangerous. You hit the weights, not for the body, but for the discipline. You chase the bag, not for flex, but for freedom. You sharpen your mind, not for claps, but for clarity. You rebuild piece by piece in total silence, because the goal isn't to be seen, it's to become undeniable. That's what Stoicism is about. Internal strength, fortified purpose. No more searching for applause. You're building in the dark, so when you finally step back into the light, you own the room without saying a word. And here's the twist. When you no longer need her to notice, that's when she does. That's when the guilt kicks in. That's when the what-ifs start. Because she doesn't recognize this new version of you, the calm, driven, focused man who doesn't look back, who doesn't text, who doesn't miss her. That version, that's what keeps her up at night. You don't rise to prove anything. You rise because you refuse to stay broken. That's the win. That's the flex. Number 8, make her face the echo. You want to know what real regret sounds like? Silence, echoing back at her. Every time she opens her phone and sees no message. Every night she stares at the screen, hoping for a notification that never comes. That's the echo, the space you left behind. And that space, it gets loud, real loud, because now she's alone with herself, and the guilt starts crawling in. See, when she walked away, she expected noise, she expected chaos, she expected you to react, reach out, break down. She thought she'd be flooded with "I miss you" texts and long emotional confessions. But nope. You gave her the opposite. You gave her silence. And that silence makes her face something she didn't prepare for, her own reflection. No distractions, no more emotional safety net. Just her, the mirror, and every single choice she made. Here's the beauty of detachment. When you stop talking, she starts thinking. When you stop explaining, she starts wondering. And when the silence stretches long enough, that wonder turns into weight. She replays the last thing you said. She scrolls through your old messages. She compares the new guys to you, and they don't measure up. Why? Because you're not chasing. You're not trying to be chosen anymore. You've already chosen yourself. That's what haunts her. Not the breakup, not the distance, but the fact that she can't access you anymore. The fact that the man she once knew is gone, and in his place is a silence too heavy to ignore. Every time she feels that void, it whispers the same truth. You walked away with dignity, and she gave up something real. Let her sit with that. Let her face the echo. Don't interrupt it. Don't rescue her from it. Let the silence stretch until the guilt turns into regret, and the regret turns into lessons. Number 9. They always circle back. You think it's over, that she's moved on, that she's out there living her best life while you're in the shadows, grinding through the pain. But here's the truth. They always circle back. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, but they do. Because women never forget a man who walked away with strength, a man who went silent, built himself up, and never looked back. That kind of detachment burns into their memory, and the more unbothered you get, the more curious she becomes. It starts subtle. A view on your story, a random like, a text that says, "Hey, just checking in." That's not a coincidence. That's a radar ping. She's testing the water, seeing if you're still available, seeing if the door is still cracked. But you already know what this is. It's not love. It's the fear of missing out, the guilt, the curiosity, the regret catching up. Because you didn't do what most guys do. You didn't chase. You didn't try to prove. You let her go, and you leveled up. See, they come back when they realize they can't replace you. When the new guy doesn't have your depth, your energy, your loyalty. When the grass turns out to be fake. When the silence you left behind turns into a roar inside their head. And what they remember, it's not the arguments, not the mistakes. They remember how you made them feel, safe, seen, chosen, and they want that feeling back. But here's the power play. You're not that man anymore. You've upgraded. You're colder, sharper, wiser, and the access they once had, gone. So when she circles back, you don't need revenge. You don't need to rub it in. You don't even need to respond. Your growth is the response. Your glow-up is the closure. And if you do answer, it's on your terms, from a position of control, not emotion. They always circle back. But by the time they do, you won't need them to. Number 10. You never needed closure. Let this hit you hard. Closure is a myth, a lie sold to keep you stuck. There's no magical conversation that'll heal the hurt. No perfect explanation that'll make betrayal make sense. You think if she just told you why, you'd be able to move on. But deep down, you already know the truth. She chose herself. She made her move. And that was the closure. Everything after that? It's just pain looking for permission to let go. You don't need to hear, "I'm sorry." You don't need to know if she misses you. You don't need the long, drawn-out talk that goes nowhere. Because even if you got it, what would it change? Would the facts shift? Would the timeline rewrite itself? Nope. All it would do is stir up emotion and reopen wounds you've already started to close. That's the trick. Closure isn't given. It's taken. It's a decision. A line you draw. A moment where you say, "Enough. I'm not waiting for peace. I'm becoming it." And that's where Stoicism wins. It teaches you to stop looking outside for answers and start building strength from within. Her silence, that's closure. Her actions, closure. Her leaving without explanation, the loudest closure of all. You just have to accept that not everything broken gets fixed. Not every goodbye comes wrapped in a bow. And not every person who hurt you has the courage to own it. That's not your problem. That's not your burden to carry anymore. You're not chasing clarity. You're creating it. Every step forward, every hour spent working on yourself, every time you resist the urge to reach out, that's you taking your power back. You are the ending to this story. You decide what happens next, and the next chapter doesn't include her. You made it. Not just through this video, but through the fire, through the confusion, through the heartbreak that tried to break you. And now, you're still standing, stronger, colder, clearer. This wasn't about hate. This wasn't about revenge. This was about reclaiming your power, silently. While she spirals in the echo you left behind, you're moving, building, becoming the man who doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. The man who speaks through action, not emotion, through discipline, not desperation. You didn't chase, you didn't beg, you didn't fold. You let her feel the weight of her own choices, and that's what crushes her. Not your words, not your tears, but your silence. That's the real blessing, the Stoic blessing. Now it's your turn to bless someone else. Share this video with a brother who needs it, someone stuck in the loop, someone who forgot who he was. Help him remember, help him rise, because we don't wait for strength to show up, we become it. If you're ready to close the door for good, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. She lost me when I found myself. This is stoic blessing. And this is your rebirth.